we'll get some of that. Well, I was going to talk to you to make sure that
things into the thing and create it.
It's like one out of every.
I'm trying to grow a beard.
All right, we're here. Cornbread Man and
Biscuit Boy. How you guys doing this morning?
Hope you can hear us. We're using a new mic. It looks like it was working. In fact, we have several new gadgets. You'll know we have the extra camera view of Sidewalk here. We're broadcasting live from Cffiene Addicts, right in front of Cffiene Addicts. Shout out to them. In fact, we're drinking their coffee.
Good coffee. Come down and get some.
Here in Ringgold, Georgia. This is Southern Fried Saturday AM. So my brain wasn't working.
They got the flags out.
They got the flags out, man.
Yes, they do.
I drove by the way I came in, I drove by the courthouse, and it just touches your heart. I mean, and we're going to take a video of that here before we get out of here today.
You know, I found out something that I wasn't aware of. Yesterday I noticed that the flags were at half-mast. Well, I didn't think about it in observance for Veterans Day, but it's also Dick Cheney passed away.
He did. And so,
you know, I hate that. You know, he was a servant of this country to a certain extent, but I believe there's a lot more to the man than meets the eye, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I think with anybody, with anybody, you find things you like, you find things you don't like. I mean, we're all imperfect.
Have a great day, ladies.
Imperfect human beings, some more than others.
Right.
Or maybe they don't try to do anything. But it was one thing about it is as though, there's always going to be people who don't like that time frame, but because of 9/11, there was a time when the country was as united as it ever been, probably since World War II. Yeah. I mean,
seriously.
Think about, was that the last time that Congress 100% agreed on anything?
I think so.
I mean, I can't think of anything now, currently.
And unfortunately, I believe that it was not the truth.
Yeah.
The entire truth.
The country was just, upset.
Yeah.
They didn't, I mean, things, we find out things later, or maybe we even knew things then. But when you see the carnage that happened and the loss of life, you're mad. I mean, that's
Extremely
our fellow
mad.
citizens. And
especially when you think some people from a terrorist organization did it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And so, prayers to his family. That's somebody's grandpa, great-grandpa.
I know it's Liz's dad.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of hers either. I mean,
I'm not either.
At all. I mean, I think probably should be in jail.
I agree. For the things she did with January 6th committee and all that.
These are people who've done some bad stuff. But it's kind of like, when it's over, it's over. I mean, whatever they're going to answer for, they'll answer for. I mean,
the Bible, it used to say that all governments are evil. One translation that I believe it's the Geneva Bible has that in it. It was taken out later on with all governments being evil because, I mean, you know, that's...
Yeah.
But we're not supposed to mess with the Word of God.
Yeah. When you look at governments, I mean, and that's what I say, like some people equate people with what the government does. I mean, they could say that about Americans. People across the world could say, well, I hate Americans. Well, you may not really hate Americans. You may just hate what our country does sometimes.
They call us the Great Satan.
I mean, so you get a lot of that. But that is in the news. I hated to hear about the young football player who ran from the police, and he's having a mental health issue for the Dallas Cowboys and killed himself, is what I'm hearing. 24 years old, man. 24 years old. That's just so unfortunate.
It is. You know,
they can't find the help they need.
The unfortunate thing is there's not a lot of mental health facilities left in this country. They've all been shut down. We used to have Moccasin Bend, you know, here in the Chattanooga area.
And it's still there, but I don't know what their bed space is. But there's a guy I know. He used to work in that industry. You know, it is an industry. I mean, it's healthcare.
Right.
It's
right.
And you know, back I guess it was around 95, somewhere in there. They cut the funding, and boy, they just unloaded places. They just put them in the street.
They did.
And these are the people that many of them who are, you know, got rearrested, and I mean, because they could return as outpatient and get medication, but what's the likelihood that they're going to show up on time, on schedule?
Especially if they're strung out.
You know, yeah, they get on the street. They got on drugs.
You know, one of my mentors, my store neighbor Jim Herman, the chaplain at the university, Southern University there in Collegedale.
Yeah.
And Jim is just a really good man of God, and he talked me through some difficult times in my life. And but in his younger days, he was an orderly at a mental hospital, and he said that he spent there were 2 days a week that they spent all day doing shock therapy on people.
Oh wow!
And he said it was amazing the difference that the shock therapy actually made in these people's lives.
I've read a little bit about that. I wouldn't say a lot. I have read recently that they're using hallucinogens to treat PTSD.
Yep.
It's big, and there is some of that going on in the USA. It is a study that's going on, and they've seen some success.
They have.
It's not 100%, but it has helped. It has helped people.
They say that this, but I'm having trouble recalling the name of the stuff. It starts with an M, I believe. But anyway, they've got a clinic in Mexico, and people are having tremendous results from this stuff, Dave. That one treatment can get you off of heroin with this stuff.
That's amazing.
Now, it is a psychedelic. It is. It is a mind-altering thing, but it taps into some part of the brain that has to do with addiction and fear and things of that nature.
What is that? I read the name of one of them that they use, and by the way, folks, we're on street side, so the mic cuts out a lot of the background noise, but you may hear a loud motorcycle or something go by. But they, what is the I'm going to say it wrong.
What is the name of the psychedelic hallucinogen PTSD?
But yeah, I find that fascinating. But there are veterans who are part of these.
They're using ecstasy.
Ecstasy is one of them.
MDMA is one of them. I was not thinking that.
That's the one that, go back down. I think that's the one I was thinking. That one.
Yeah. Psilocybin?
No, maybe that's not it.
Psilocybin is just a part of the magic mushroom.
Yeah.
You know,
that's it, yeah.
So, and ketamine, they've used ketamine, but this is a controversial ibogaine. That's it, ibogaine. Psychoreactive drug.
Hey, we have a comment from Anthony. He says, yes, but there's still a stigma that's portrayed by the pharmaceutical companies. That's why you haven't seen it take hold. Well, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
And there are people fighting against it.
100%.
He says, I don't think it's ever going to happen like we think because of the pharmaceutical companies basically controlling these politicians. That's why weed hasn't been fully legalized around the country.
Well,
and good morning to you, Anthony.
You know, along those same lines, nicotine. A lot of people don't know that since the 1500s, they were curing cancer with tobacco. The problem is, tobacco's been vilified and, you know, by big pharma, but the tobacco industry, unfortunately, started adding all of these carcinogens to, you know, the tobacco products, and that started causing problems, you know, with health and all of that.
Yeah.
But there was a study, and I might have told you this, Harvard had a peer-reviewed study about nicotine. It's non-addictive. Pure nicotine is non-addictive. It's found in all nightshade vegetables. If you eat eggplant or white potatoes or tomatoes, you're getting nicotine in your body. It's naturally occurring. God put it there for a reason.
Yeah.
But there was a doctor at, I think it was Mount Sinai in New York during the height of COVID. He was over the ICU, the COVID wing. And he noticed when smokers would come in that they started going downhill rather quickly. And he thought, well, maybe it's because they're not getting their... Good morning. Getting their smoke, you know, their cigarettes. So he started putting a 7 milligram nicotine patch on all the smokers that came in. Well, lo and behold, 100% of them in 5 to 7 days were healed and out of the hospital.
Wow.
So he thought, this can't be a coincidence. So he changed the protocol and started putting a 7 milligram nicotine patch on every single COVID patient that came onto his floor. 100% of them were healed and out in 5 to 7 days, and you never heard nothing about it on the news. Crickets. You heard nothing.
Oh, yeah. Anthony says, is it nicotine a natural thing that was created by nature? So, you know, and you remember back when, remember the 7 doctors who stood and they had the press conference early on?
Yep.
And one of those, I've read her book.
They were vilified.
She's a Christian. She believes in all, you know, absolutely faith healing and all that.
Right.
But she used things that they didn't want people to get a hold of. And in her clinic, she was seeing tremendous responses. In fact, I don't think and she was operating or helping to operate or operated 2 or 3 clinics at the time, if I remember right. And I might not have that number right, but I know there was more than one. And they, if they weren't so far gone, I mean, like almost basically death,
right,
they were seeing recoveries. I mean, they didn't lose, but a small number. I mean, it maybe with 1 or 2. I don't even remember. And when they did that press conference, they attacked them with everything they had. Every entity that was there, politicians, the media,
well,
you name it, they came after them, and they tried to make them look like a bunch of witch doctors and nutcases. Well, we would call crack, you know, quacks is what they tried to make them out to be.
There was a plan all along. It wasn't a pandemic; it was a plandemic. And you know, everybody that got the Fauci ouchie, they had nano machines injected into their body, along with, I think there were 36 different venoms that they found in these injections that they were giving people.
Well, a lot of people went, you know, they kind of went and did their own research. They even went outside the country, they, you know, and ordered things and got things, or they knew somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And but here's the thing, and let me get Anthony's comments real quick. He said, but that was one case, but I don't think that could work because, you know, if these people have cancer already, so putting them back on nicotine would be counterproductive, wouldn't it?
Not necessarily, no.
And then he said the odd thing is when you look at the Asian countries, they are so healthy because they use natural medicines instead of pharmaceuticals that have a ton of chemicals. That's true.
They do.
You know, because you get so much in your body and it's all working against each other, you know.
Nicotine, from what they have found, kills almost every virus known to man. It reverses Parkinson's disease. It does. I mean, it does a lot of things and they're just now starting to get all this stuff out. But if you want to really read about it, go look at Dr. Brian Ardis, Ardis.
I'm familiar with him.
He has done some amazing research into nicotine and other things as well. But
I like watching him. He is so informative.
he is, and he brings the receipts.
He's online. I know he's on Rumble. I don't know what else he goes on. He's probably some platforms probably would kick him off. To be honest,
Yeah,
we might get kicked
probably.
off for the show, but
Well,
it's okay because some platforms are funny about it. But it's okay. You know what? Freedom of speech. Baby.
Truth hurts sometimes.
But yeah, and you know, we know that if the healthier, you know, the natural things are healthy because God did put them here.
Yes.
And if you look at that, going back to the Asian, you could also go to the Mediterranean nations. And one of the key things about health there is they eat fresh stuff every day. I mean, they go to the markets. They're going and getting fresh foods. They're not processed. It's not stuff that's, you know, canned and you know, made to last forever, and they're moving it. You know,
it hadn't been sprayed with.
It's it's fresh fish. I mean, they went and caught it and brought it into the market.
Exactly.
It's vegetables and stuff. It's all fresh, and people that I know that have been in the countries, and they love that because you can just go to the market and you just go get your dinner every day. You know, fresh, and that's cool.
When we were in the Dominican Republic, the stores are a lot different down there, but the fruit is fresh. I mean, and it's got such a different flavor. The pineapples down there are so much sweeter. I mean, it's mind blowing, really, the difference in the taste.
Yeah. By the way, we've got a new affiliate coming on board called Fruit Hero, and they have these things that you can put your fruits in that'll last up to 90 days, so you can extend the lifetime of it. Which saves you money. You know, we don't waste food, and you're going to be hearing more about it. And we've just coming on board, and I'm trying to work out the level because it's all over. I was trying to make sure I got my free shipping, man, because I'm bringing in some samples.
Right.
But these folks are going to give us a 30% commission rate.
Oh, wow.
And definitely want to work with them. They're from down under, man. They're from Australia, but
good day.
Good day. Let's see, as he said, do you guys think it's a generational thing? Your generation tends to have a stigma on stuff like this. It seems my generation is more open to alternative medicines than previous generations. Well, if you go way back, people were they didn't even like doctors, man. I mean, they would, you know, the doctor's crazy. I can take care of you at home. You know,
I fired my doctor. I did. I fired all of my doctors. I had a cardiologist, all these things. I go to one lady. Her name's Bess Howard. She runs Wellness Revolution.
Is this the one we're going to have on?
Yes.
She said she would come on the podcast.
Yes.
That would be great.
She is holistic, and I've gone from 250 pounds to 175 pounds, and I feel better at 60 than I did at 30.
Awesome, man. Anthony says, I blame capitalism a little bit because they allow these big companies like, what was that, Monsanto, to buy out little farms and test pesticides on food. Yep. Well, we've got a big problem in the whole food industry.
We
do. I mean, everybody knows it. That's why everybody's going to the farm fresh, you hear, or farm to table or whatever.
Everybody needs to jump on the Maha movement.
People, yeah, they do. Make America healthy again. Right. We had the gentleman last week, and they've moved down here, and they're farming and doing all. They're teaching their kids. They're going to teach their kids to do things fresh, grow it, eat it, consume it.
Exactly. And hopefully we won't be arrested for growing our own crops anytime.
Well, yeah.
You know.
And they're. What I like is, even if you have a small place, now if you're in an apartment, I mean, you can still do things. I mean, you can still grow things in an apartment. But let's say you had like a you were on a postage stamp property. There are things you can get. There's apps you can get show you what you grow and everything. Good morning. But you can, it'll show you what to have, how much space you're going to have for, say, and of course you got to look at laws like you said. But how much you can have for growing fruits and vegetables,
how to rotate the soil,
what animals you can grow, and a lot of here. I'm going to tell you, in Catoosa County, it's been chicken wars, man, because everybody has wanted to grow their own chickens, and when egg prices went out the roof, and that was the big war down here over who could grow chickens and who couldn't. And they come out with these rules, and a lot of people got voted out because they didn't like what they had to say about who can do it and who cannot. I think people are I think people are getting sick and tired of regulation. They're getting sick and tired of being told what you can do with your property.
We need to reduce the government. We have too much government. You know, the Democrats want more government. You know, they think people are too stupid to take care of themselves. We did pretty good for a long time. You know, our founding fathers turned this country into something that
Anthony
it's
said
a
I
great
had
experiment.
He said I had a friend in high school who was completely obese. He went holistic. He lost almost 300 pounds.
Wow.
And he is walking around at 175. He was originally 450. How about that,
That's
man?
amazing. Good for him.
Amen.
You know,
That is
it
so
takes
cool.
a lot of willpower.
Yeah.
But if you've got the right tools, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, and this is a good spot to plug our sponsor, which is Ascending. And Paul, I'm going to let you talk about that because that is the sponsor underneath our Wolf Nation brand, Wolf Nation. You'll be hearing more about that. But Paul,
I'm excited about Wolf Nation.
I'm telling you, we are so excited. It's everything. It's that inner spirit of adventure, going out in the woods.
We're going to be bringing
getting healthy. It's all those things. And
we're going to be bringing some pretty fun stuff.
I like to say the wolf knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
But talk about Ascending and how you can help people financially.
Well, at the Ascending Group, we're big on education. We want to educate people on finances because, you know, the more education you have, the better decision you can make when it comes time. And there are a lot of different products out there that some are good, some are not. We have over 190 A-rated companies, Fortune 500 companies, that we do business with. And they develop products specifically for World Financial Group that other people don't have access to. We can help you. We're the Amazon of the financial industry. We can help you with just about anything. But Dave, everybody needs a good life insurance policy, especially the head of a household.
Sure. And I'm trying to go through and get my license right now. I've been studying a lot, and I've learned a lot. I knew some things. I've learned a lot of things I didn't know. But there are so many plans. I mean, like, you know, survivor plans, family maintenance plans.
Yep.
Really, is the possibilities are almost endless. What you can do to protect your money, and that's what it's about. And Lord knows, if you just pass on without any kind of plan, they're going to get it all.
Oh yeah.
The government will get it all. And
you know, there's an old
you don't
saying.
want that to happen.
There's an old saying. Most people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we run into that quite a bit. You know, unfortunately, some of the people that we help get into a better financial situation are, you know, basically 4 flat tires away from being broke. And that's a sad thing. You know, we need to learn healthier saving habits.
Anthony said there has to be, and by the way, Anthony comes in, he's very, he asks a lot of really good leading questions. He has.
Glad to have you on.
And I don't know that we agree on everything, but we don't have to.
No, you don't.
We all have freedom of thought.
Exactly.
And I love that because he puts things out there that makes me think about it.
Yeah.
I'm always evaluating, by the way, what I do believe. And, you know, I think I'm not one of those that's got my heels in the ground. There's only one. That's faith in Jesus Christ.
Amen. Brother.
Other than that, I'm willing to be. I'm willing to have the debate. I think that's intelligence when you are willing to debate or see how you really believe.
Something that's been lost, I believe, and you know, especially in our government. You know, there is no debate. It's either you're right or you're wrong. You're either, you know, a patriot or you're a Nazi, and it's not that way.
Yeah, he said there has to be a middle ground.
There does.
You can't deregulate, and I agree with that. You can't deregulate every industry for safety reasons. Yes, because we saw what would happen with that, and I'm glad you said that because I was going to put that disclaimer out there because I'm sort of in that middle ground. And I would say to that, and you've got another comment I'll get to. What I would say with that is that we can't just allow people to be dumping, things into the environment or destroying the water systems or, pumping things into the air. Absolutely, I agree with that. But within that, I think there has to be a way that you can allow people to have the room to breathe and do what they need to do. And when we're getting into these regulations that are happening because they say if somebody, how you doing, bud?
Good.
And we're being penalized for our cows passing gas. And I mean, that's what happens. I mean, and then, you know, so where do you go with that?
And you know, the whole myth about global warming it's been proven that it is a myth. It's something that they came up with to make money on. Now, I agree that there should be other ways, you know, for clean energy, but I don't think it's windmill farms. You know, now having a windmill on your property, people have used those, you know, since. Well, the Dutch used windmills. I mean, you know, to turn, you know, to grind their corn and different things.
His next question is basically, you know, to both of us, because we're, you know, what is that middle ground? Because, and you're right, Anthony. And I was saying this on the podcast last night. There's this the extremes. The extremes are speaking for our nation right now in a lot of ways.
The outliers.
And there has to be a little bit of both in what we do, and I think that's just a continuation of that. And you were touching on it with windmills. I don't have anything per se against a windmill. What I have against is subsidies and stuff that's paying people millions of dollars, and we find out later that they're not even maintaining, you know, windmills. Windmills are sitting broken, and they just took the money is what they did.
Or they don't. Country's bad about it.
Or they don't even build the windmill.
Yeah.
I'm for solar energy and all that. I just don't want things. I don't think it's forced upon me. I think I should have the right to say I want electricity, I want solar, or a combination of. But I think there are some good things happening where they're doing some things that, you know, gives money back to people through solar and whatever it is. I think there's a balance that can be had.
Do you know why I believe there are no aliens?
Why's that?
Because if there were, we'd have already sent them some aid money. You know, that's the way of the United States.
They would have got billions of dollars to build a solar array on planet whatever.
Yeah, Planet X, whatever. You know, this 3-eye Atlas thing that's flying around. We might have helped create that. Who knows?
And I get you, and I can kind of tell sometimes where you're at in that. He says, I'm a moderate progressive. I like progressive plans that help with housing and stuff like that, but there's certain things that can't really work here in the United States because of capitalism. Well, and again, I would say that I ascribe to capitalism because people can come here and they can become whatever they want. But
that's what made this country great, is capitalism.
And people that are mega rich create jobs. They really do. And I don't ever like to limit what somebody can make, because then you get into socialistic ideas where you take from them and you give everybody else. And that's where we're kind of...
Oh, yeah. Speaking of socialists, get your popcorn ready, folks. Sit back and watch what's going on in New York.
Oh, man.
He's already come out and said, you know, I told you to stop sending money. Will you start sending that money again? I'm serious. He's not even mayor yet. He's already saying, well, you know, I might have miscalculated or whatever, but socialism is not going to work.
He tapped into what he knew would be productive for him. Yeah. People would jump on board.
Well, he lied to people,
and so he get elected, and now they'll find out just what he is. I'll just say it that way. They'll find out what he is. But listen, what I'll say is this: again, you have to have a business model, and I do believe that people should be paid in industry. I mean, I don't think that somebody down at the local fast food should be, you know, you can't pay all your workers $100,000 a year. That model just doesn't work. Actually, it'll probably go all robotic and stuff in the future.
And unless you're making that type of
but
profit,
I think there are money that can be added, and you can have levels to that. I mean, your entry-level person, maybe they're just a high schooler or whatever, versus somebody who decided to make Friends X, whatever that restaurant is, their career. And some people say that's not a career. Well, some people make it a career. They go up into management or whatever. I don't care if they should make more money. But some people look at how much money someone has who owns a company, and they say, look, they're rich and these people are not making living wage. But one of the examples, and I heard this here recently, last week, matter of fact. No, actually it was earlier this week. And they were using a box store, I'm not going to say the name, and they were saying the leaders are all billionaires and the people don't make any money. I can tell you that they pay really good bonuses. I've talked to the people who work at this particular box store, and they make thousands of dollars in bonus. And they're pretty happy about where they're at. They're not complaining. Now, does everybody get the same amount? Maybe not. I don't know how that's based, but you know, they make a decent. They're making decent. Is it? You know, is it like it would be if you were a white collar? No, I'm not saying that.
Right.
But there are things that can be made, but the business model, it's like free health care, or my company's going to pay for health care. They don't, or my child care rather is what I meant.
Right.
Or paying 100% of the health care. That just doesn't work in the business model. But could some, you know, I like it when I see leaders that invest in their people, absolutely.
Right.
And you know, I'm not going to name my company, but I will say this, is that, you know, they have tried their very best to, even during difficult financial times, is to do all they can to reinvest in people.
Right.
At different levels. You know, because even at it costs them more, because, and we are we're a Berkshire Hathaway company. And they absolutely don't flinch at that, because we have to go through them to get approvals and everything. And they will say, absolutely, always reinvest in your process and your people.
That's Warren Buffett.
And you got to do that. And he's a believer in that. And he's
Right.
not a guy that lives out there and lives like he's in the Taj Mahal. He lives a very modest lifestyle.
You
And
know,
he says, I'm not leaving all my money to my kids either.
Well, speaking of Warren Buffett, 90-some-odd% of his estate are in the type of products that we educate people on. He swears by life insurance policies, and one particular one is called an indexed universal life policy. It's an index policy that you can never lose money in. And if it's structured properly, which is at the Ascending Group, that's what we do. We are professionals at structuring these particular policies the right way. And the amazing growth that you can get and the protection that you get from these things are they're hands down the best in the business. Warren Buffett used to have a running bet with the golden boy of Wall Street every year, whoever it was, that they could not outperform his IUL. $1 million goes to whatever charity, and he never lost.
Amazing.
Never lost.
Anthony went on to say, what's hurting us too is the travel industry has been affected with some of the policies in terms of the tariffs. International travel doesn't come to the theme parks anymore. Tariffs are, that'll level out. It is ugly war right now.
It is. But the United States has been taken advantage of for so many years.
He has balanced a lot of that. Some of that was very unbalanced, and there's still work to do.
There is.
But you're right, the longer it goes, it can be a great detriment to the country.
But it can also be a blessing.
So we got to find that ground there, and I think that they've adjusted some of them pretty quick, you know, and made deals. I mean, the soybean farmers, I was concerned, but they've made that deal with China. They've leveled some of that stuff out, and they're buying product, and I think that's good.
Well, you know, some of the fellas that, you know, there's a lot of people that do logistics nowadays. And I've got a couple of friends that are in logistics, and they were complaining at the very beginning, you know, when Trump started these tariffs, oh, we're losing money, we can't ship this, we can't do this isn't blah, blah, blah. Now they're like, wow, you know, they're making money hand over fist because the tariffs are working. You just have so many naysayers out there.
It's hard for industry.
Don't understand the economy, number one.
Yeah, it's hard for industry. There's a lot of things that are shipped in, parts and machinery and stuff like that. But well, I can tell you what it has caused, and I know this because I listen to people who are in supply, is they have found ways to reach out through other countries. And what I think has created another industry is that some countries are buying from this country and then selling it to the United States. Mm-hmm. You're just changing the address.
Exactly.
And in some cases that's not been possible, but in many cases they found a way around that.
Yeah.
And maybe even different companies. And other companies are popping up.
There are always loopholes and ways around things. But, you know, the thing about tariffs, they can be detrimental. They can be. I mean, you know, if used improperly. But Trump, I believe, is his heart is for the American people. He wants to do what's best. We've got a lot of industry coming to this country again because of the deals that he has made. And I think it's going to be a great thing for this country because we're not going to be dependent on other countries to get these products. So the tariffs they're going to be non-existent, because we're going to be making these things ourselves. We're going to become a powerhouse again in the industrial industry and beyond AI and all of that other stuff, chips and things like that.
Those deals are being made right now.
They are.
For chips.
They are.
He said there would be road bumps ahead, and it's not a smooth process. And there's going to be
Buttercup. I mean,
it's going to be hard.
The way it is.
He said, "What are your thoughts on this? I have a theory that a better paid workforce is more highly productive instead of paying them below minimum wage and caring more about profits." I hear that catchphrase a lot, and I get it. But there are going to be I don't know. I mean, how do you pay below minimum wage?
Well, it has to be the correct ratio.
There may be people that find loopholes through that, but I think that companies are stepping up and they're finding ways to increase pay. And I know that has happened because I know what some of the pay is for some of the. I'll give you an example. I won't say the name of the grocery store. Hey, how you doing?
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
And the name of this particular paid. Entry level job. I know for in one case here in Georgia, and I was told that they started out at $19 an hour.
Well, McDonald's is paying $15.
So there has been adjustments made to that. But you're right, pay never really keeps up with cost and cost of living and all that. I would agree. The inflation, the cost of living, it is hard. It is extremely hard right now.
That's why I believe everybody should have a 1099 income. I mean, everybody should, just for the tax write-offs. And if you need help with that, I can help you get a 1099 income. But I'm sorry, Dave. Capitalism works. That I don't see any other way. I mean, I really don't. But I heard this story, and what piqued my interest was about Henry Ford, and back at, in the early days of automobiles, one of their machines went down and nobody could figure out how to fix it. And they were losing thousands of dollars a day because this machine's down. Well, they called this guy. He was like the electricity whisperer or something like that. He was an engineer that was just amazing. About 5'1", little bitty guy, had a humpback. He came in, and he sat down in a chair beside the machine and told everybody to be quiet, turn the machine on. He sat there and listened to it for 2 hours. He took a piece of chalk, marked an X on the machine. He said, "Take that apart, you'll find your problem." They did that, fixed it, it was done. Henry Ford got a bill for $1,001. And he was like, "Well, you weren't even here a day, why?" He said, "Listen, this is the way it works. The chalk mark was $1. Knowing where to put it was 1,000.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you get paid for your value.
Yeah. Anthony said the people I'm more worried about are not managerial people who get a set salary and talk about the day-to-day workers. The people who are unload the trucks, cashiers, baggers. Yeah, I get it. There are people. And it is hard.
They need to be paid well.
It is hard for those. He also said,
that's why I used to like the unions. The way the unions were set up, they were originally designed to benefit the workers, to help take care of the workers, but then it got hijacked.
He said the two billionaires I actually like are Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. I read somewhere once that they did most of their money on their properties are going to go to charity, and that's true. I'm not a Gates fan at all, but he is a smart who has made a lot of money, very successful. I'm absolutely a poster child for, I think, how to do it. I mean, he's reinvesting in processes and people.
He is.
And he does not live this yacht lifestyle where he's out, seeing how much money he can accumulate, and he is going to leave that to charity.
I think he still drives the same car that he's had for 20 years.
He has. He said, with inflation, for me, tariffs don't necessarily work because it's not like it was in the 19th century. And those presidents where New York was the one that was producing most of the revenue. And if, New York's in trouble. I'm just going to tell
New
you
York's
that.
in big trouble.
People are fleeing New York. Businesses are fleeing New York with what's happening.
Good morning.
And so it's go dogs. That's either Georgia.
Well, the only thing I got to say is don't head down this way. Keep your politics up there. We don't need it down here.
He said, I was talking to someone recently about Middle America and the people who relied on the mining industry as work. He thought it would have been best to retrain them, people to open solar and wind farms. But I'm going to tell you, people, there are dangers to that, but I'm going to tell you, it is a good paying job to be able to mine and stuff. And I'm going to tell you, it's made a rebound. But they're doing ways to do some things cleaner with that. It does have its rough part, but I'm all for clean energy, like I said. But we got to be wary of, as we talk about governments and politicians, of what the control factor. If we can do that and have control of that energy, because it seems like, well, I'll give you an example. Everybody says, go electric car. I don't care if people have electric cars or not. It doesn't matter to me a bit. I don't like the idea that I'm going to be forced, like in California, that I can't sell a new gasoline car.
Well,
I think that'll be overturned. But
the thing is, they don't have the grid to support all of these electric vehicles. I mean, and it's ludicrous to think that the 2030 agenda is to everybody own an electric car. We don't have the electrical grid for it.
We don't. In fact, we need to be investing in the electrical grid across the country. It's a real mess.
There are a lot of different ways to produce energy, and
But as far as retraining and all that, I work in training, and I'm all for. Again, that's reinvesting in people, and people's industry have collapsed. Let's absolutely get them schooling, get them education, a skilled job. I want more and more people we need in this country, I'm all for robotics and all that stuff that will take the heavy lifting off of the people so they don't have the physical breakdowns and make all those jobs into more skilled jobs where they're using this more than this.
Right.
But you're always going to have some of that. You can't eliminate all that.
No.
So, and some of those are really good paying jobs. But the more we can do with that, and we can retrain workers and give them education, and they can do work,
That's the key is education.
Those are the jobs that are going to be there because that's how we compete with the world, who pays very much below minimum wage or a living salary or anything.
Yeah, we don't have slave labor here.
Companies will jump ship and go to the other countries and put their jobs there. I want to tell you, I'm a little bit concerned about, you mentioned unions and stuff, and in the South, that's kind of a dirty word because of things that have happened, and there are some. Others love it. There's a lot of controversy with that. But I will say this, they definitely help the workers get out of unsafe situations, and it forced change in America. I'm big on that.
And they got paid a decent wage.
They got paid a decent wage, but it has been also used for fraud, and there's a lot of bad things that have went along with some of that too.
Well, my retirement has gone insolvent with the union.
Yeah.
And trust me, that I'll use that to buy coffee or whatever. What I've got now through the Ascending Group is amazing. We
have in our area a company. I'm not going to name them. They're talking about going on strike. They cannot come to an agreement, and it seems as though to me, and here's where there's no middle ground. The union made all these demands. The company came, I thought, a very long way. They kind of really, I think it was more than the middle.
Yeah.
And they're saying, no, we want it all, and we're going to walk. And if they're not careful,
sounds like the Democrats.
If they're not careful, those jobs will leave America.
Yep.
And they will assemble those cars in Mexico or somewhere. And that's why tariffs can be important, because it doesn't make that as profitable for them to do that.
Right.
But again, it all goes back to the bottom line, and that is going to answer the question on whether you're going to have a job here or there. Is that profit margin?
Yep.
And we can like it or not like it, but I'm telling you, I think some of these people, it's almost like an addiction.
Yeah.
I'm just going to demand more and more and more. And I watched my mother-in-law's company do this years ago in this area, and that company shut down. They kept saying, you have more, we want more of it, you've got this. They finally just said, we're done. They went on strike 3 times in like 5 years, and they said, we're just going to shut it down. We'll sell everything.
Well, you
and
know,
that's what they did.
There's an
but
old
people
saying,
lost.
There's an old saying, squeaky wheel gets the grease. You've heard that saying before? Well, I adapted that to the squeaky wheel can also be replaced, because I've noticed, you know, especially in corporate America, you've got a lot of people that just make a lot of noise. They're constantly squeaking, and that's fine. If you see a problem, don't be that problem. Come up with a solution to it.
Yeah.
You know, focus your efforts on trying to do something positive.
He went on to say, I believe...
Have a great day, ladies.
Anthony goes on to say, I believe that clean coal is a myth. And I would never say clean. What I would say is cleaner. Is they cleaned up a lot.
It's all about the burning process. It has to be burned.
They have done a lot. In fact, here in town, a lot of the companies and Chattanooga changed. A lot of those companies went out of business or flat town. Yeah. But when they were still here, before they I think they on purpose they ran them out. But they put scrubbers. They spent a lot of money to clean up the air.
I'm gonna have to go get me another.
I'm pretty
cup.
Good. Go right ahead.
I'll be right back.
Anthony, you said there was something perpetrated by the big gas companies to make people buy automobiles and run on petrol instead of electricity or alternative fuel. Well, there's always that war going to be going on with absolutely between the people in power, whether it's oil companies or whoever. It's control for the mind. It's control for the narrative. It's control for the media, and there's absolutely that battle going on. And some people are going to believe whatever they believe, no matter what is said. I see I'm kind of middle of the road kind of guy. I see the pros and cons, and sometimes things are the necessary of what you have to do, and until you can get a better product or a better process or whatever. So I am pro-environment, absolutely. I'm not someone who thinks the environment should be trash, but at the same time, we were talking about earlier, that middle ground, we have to find ways to partner with the environment, not poison it. But anything we do is going to have an effect, all of us. And this is what worries me about globalists, because they have this utopia idea of 500,000 people or all should be on the planet. That's ridiculous. This planet can handle the people it has, and that's another thing they use to, make people feel guilty about the things that they do or the things they have. And I'm very much against that. Do you think that mechanization killed certain industries? Well, sure, I'm sure it did. But this is the thing we got to remember. With if we go back and we look at when automobiles, steam engines, and all that, I mean, horse and buggy went away. I mean, you still have them, but the industry of horses and buggies and wagon trains and like that. Or you could say today, because of changes and the TV repairman, they don't really have a need for that. TVs are disposable. You buy it, basically, if it goes bad, you just buy another one. Those things are always going to change. There's always going to be change. People are always looking for new ways to find things. And again, if we go back and we look, people were very against anything of change because change scares people. But sometimes we change too quickly. And AI is one of those that is a danger to us. I see the possibilities of AI, but I also see the danger. And we're growing so fast in that is they're trying to craft regulation on that right now, something like that. So I think those are the growing pains that we have sometimes. And again, bad people will do bad things. So you have some people out there looking to do things that are good and productive and help mankind, the environment, people, health, whatever. Then you got people that are, doctor death, and they're out there, and that could be an industry or it could be healthcare or whatever, and they're looking for ways to enrich themselves, and they could care less truly about the health of people. So I think there is a balance, and you just got to find that. And we got to be careful with that. But there are growing pains. I think the reason why some of these companies go to the places like China or Mexico because they can get away with paying their employees in this third world countries pennies to the dollar. Now, I will tell you now, I agree with you, but be careful. I would tell you that my Hispanic friends will be very angry to hear a third world country involving Mexico. They will definitely step back against that. But there are still challenges. But if we say put Mexico third world country, you're going to get some kickback on that. But you're right to the point. They will go to these countries, and that was my point. They will go to these countries. They will pay less than, and then they will ship back in. But I will say that there are companies, and I will use flooring. I'm not going to name the companies, but in flooring, let me say it this way: if you're going to place your product in a store, let's say a Lowe's or Home Depot, they have rules that you're going to have to go over. And I know this because I've talked to the people who did it. You've got to go over those countries, and you've got to make sure that they have safety protocols. You got to make sure that they're not using child labor.
Exactly. Slave labor.
They will cancel your contract.
Yep.
So there are checks and balances to it. So I know this for a fact. You have to be compliant with that, and to make sure that. And again, it's they put them. Maybe they're putting on a show when you come in, but you just show up. You show up in these countries, and there's people that's paid. That's all they do is they go to, we'll say, a Vietnam, or they go to this country, and they're looking for that. When they go in, do these employees get breaks?
Right.
Are they being paid a decent wage for the area? All that stuff. And if you don't meet certain criteria, the Lowe's and Home Depots of the world,
contract.
they'll kick you out of their store.
Yeah.
You have to verify all that. So.
Yep.
Let's see here. Watchman's coming in here. Got a good discussion going on this morning. I appreciate it.
The entrepreneurial spirit in this country is coming back. Unfortunately, our educational system has quailed that, squashed it, however you want to put it. You go to school, and what do they tell you? Sit down, shut up, and listen.
Yeah.
That's not the entrepreneurial way. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And, that's the thing I love about entrepreneurship. You get paid for what you do. You can work in corporate America and work along, with a colleague making the same amount of money that you're making. You bust your hump, you do your job, take, your 10-minute break in the morning or whatever, while they're sitting in the bathroom playing games, going on smoke breaks, coffee breaks, all this stuff. You're doing 5 times the work they're doing, but they're getting paid the same thing you are.
Anthony,
that's not right.
Anthony asked a good question. Why do you guys think that retirement in general, Social Security, has disappeared over the past few decades?
Because it's been squandered.
They have,
they've looted it.
They have. They've looted Social Security. They've stolen the money. And companies, I will tell you this, some companies made promises they couldn't keep, and they're paying for that right now. And there's a lot. That's a whole discussion in and of itself. That's why we'll say the post office is in such a bad state financially. They promised all the pensions that they couldn't afford in the business model, or they'll go out of business and open up as another business and kill all that cost and everything. This happens a lot. The game is played. We'll say that.
A game.
I don't agree with it, but it is true. Let's see here. Watchman says sidewalk cam unlocked. Yeah, we got a new thing going on, so we wanted to give you an idea of what we see here, and people coming in and out getting their coffee here at Cffiene Addicts. We want to give them a plug, and this show is sponsored by Ascending Group, Ascending Financial.
I want to tell you what,
we appreciate them. So the cam is an ascending. Keep ascending.
There you go. But I want to tell you what, Cffiene Addicts. I love cappuccinos, Dave.
Yeah.
And they have the best cappuccino around. I've tried them all. This
is just a regular Colombian, a drip they put on mine. It's a good coffee. I look forward to it every Saturday. So then they've got other things here. This is a great location. If you saw me,
we're going to get some coffee coming in.
We are. But you see the story about Alvin Ridley. We're right in front of the Ridley building. This is where Cffiene Addicts is, and the story of the Zenith.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Get a card and follow us. We appreciate you so very much. We're a Southern Fried Podcast. We're on all the time. We do a lot of different kinds of things. But thank y'all so much. We're out here every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Bad weather, we'll go inside, but we're live
we're on
right now. You were on camera coming down. Your side rock. It's on this side.
It's on that side over there. Take two. Y'all have a blessed day.
They don't realize they were on camera.
Yeah. Want to redo it.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't believe I was on camera. So
that's funny.
Let's see. Joking around, Anthony says movies. I'm sorry, it's a little bright out here, so I'm looking through my FBI lenses here, so I have to get a little closer. It's not as bright as usual. We got a lot of fog in the area, but joking around, movies like War Games, I remember that movie.
Yep.
And Terminator warned us that humans are getting too smart for their own good, creating stuff like this.
They're getting too lazy.
Well, again, it goes back to those devious, total depravity, sin-filled minds.
Yep.
And they're like Dr. Frankenstein or Dr. Death or something. There are those people out there. Yeah, Mengele. That's a great example. And us humans are just the laboratory experiment for them. And that really bothers me.
They already say, people like Bill Gates, we were talking about him earlier, that the world is overpopulated. And
I mentioned that earlier.
That's what the pandemic was all about. They're trying to get rid of as many people as they can. They're coming up with this. What's the corn that Gates has come up with? It's got nanotechnology in it. They're going to get it through your water system. They're going to do something. And unfortunately, that's how these black flag events are going to take place, I believe.
Good morning, Watchman, for you. He also says the Matrix is when AI took over and used humans for, batteries. Yeah, batteries, while they lived in online world. And I never watched the movie, I'll be honest, so I know I'm goofy, I guess. I didn't watch it, but if you're
I know at the end it was all still the Matrix. He had two choices. He could either save humanity or choose love for his girlfriend or whatever, and he chose love that last time, and it messed everything up. But
Anthony says, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, we serve a great God.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. And, through the blood of Christ, we have forgiveness. Now, we have a way back. It's a privilege, through Christ to be able to come before Abba in prayer, and I'm sorry, I don't have the words I get overwhelmed when I start talking about the Lord sometimes, because if you think about just His glory, His power,
amen.
It's just.
And that's what I was saying the other night with the guy, and we ended up having a great discussion. I think on many levels, and like I said, I'm willing to discuss really anything, even if we disagree, as long as we keep civil. But sometimes people just come in, I feel like they just jump me, like you're an idiot, Okay, well, maybe I am. I guess I am an idiot. I'm a sinner. But
I've got sparring gloves.
But what I was going to say is that I love the conversation, and I think that a lot of us generally agree on stuff. We don't have to agree on everything. I think most people have common sense or whatever. But when you're looking at some of these things, we all see a little bit different because we all come from different directions, maybe. But we'll get there, and America will get there. And that's what I was saying the other night is, and even beyond America, because I'm positive. I live that way. I'm the glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah.
But that is based not on just America. That's based on my faith in Jesus.
Amen.
So I live a very positive life, and I don't ignore. I don't have my head in the sand. I am looking at all those things. I just don't dwell there constantly, I guess. And maybe people say I should probably go there more often. I don't, but I do pay attention to it. But
it's like living in the past. You can't live in it, but you learn from it.
Yeah.
You don't repeat its mistakes. But I love the analogy of the vehicle. There's a reason why the windshield of a car is as big as it is, and the rear view mirror is as small as it is.
Yeah.
You don't need to spend your time looking in the rear view mirror. Look ahead.
Absolutely.
There's a big bright world out in front of you.
Absolutely. Anthony goes on to say, I'm going to use a metaphor that Arthur Conan Doyle said when he was alive. Any sufficient form of technology is indistinguishable from magic. Interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
I've heard that saying before. Arthur Conan Doyle was a very interesting guy.
Thanks for sharing. I like that. Watchman says, think about AI is the perfect way for Satan to try and be like God and see all that we say and do and have a track on us. Perfect system for the Antichrist to rule.
Well, that's the way it's going to.
Yeah, the great.
That's the beast system.
Reef in neutrons. I'll agree with you. Yeah, absolutely, it's going to be used to help usher in and for that control, without a doubt. Without a doubt. For you, Anthony, for you guys, what industries do you think would benefit the most from moving their factories and their manufacturing processes back into the United States? I'm thinking maybe automotive.
All of them.
Well, we gave the world automotive.
We did.
It would benefit. The problem is this, and here's the thing: is if you, and Watchman says, y'all drinking pumpkin spice lattes? No, not.
No, sir.
Regular Colombian, baby. But
I do have a cappuccino. I like a little froth in my coffee.
A little froth in your life.
Yep.
But here's the thing that I would say. It goes back to what we said earlier. Extreme at different times in our nation. I say, we go from one extreme to the other. No matter what the president does right now, in 3 years, or a little over 3 years, or it's almost just 3 years.
He'll be president again.
If
Trump in 28.
If it was, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. If it was
right.
AOC, do you not think she would go completely the other way?
Oh Lord, yeah.
And here's my point to that. Whether you're on either extreme, that's not the point here. The point is, if you're a business owner, how do you swing that wide with your? I mean, you got to have plans in your company.
You have to be able to compensate.
It's scary.
Yeah.
How do you know how to business model 5 years out? Companies have 5 and 10 year business models,
Everyone
and you adjust
should.
as you go. Well, just like retirement or whatever.
Well, their goal, yes.
But how do you business model through chaos? And that's what I think we've had for so long now is freaking chaos.
Well, the companies that we work with have the best risk assessors in the world. And that's what you have to have is risk assessors. When I took statistics in college, I hated it. But it's its own language. Have you ever noticed that? Math is its own language.
You're right, Watchman. Agenda 2130, depopulation. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you read, and I've read, and a lot of people don't like him, or he got in trouble. But I'm going to tell you what, he was right on a lot of stuff, has been right on a lot of stuff, and that's InfoWars and Alex Jones.
Alex Jones is a prophet, I think.
His book, his last book, I don't think he's had one since then. His last book, all he did was take things that people said from Klaus Schwab and whoever and put them in a book, and he just made comments on it.
Yep.
But what he put out there was that agenda was what they said.
Yep.
And
got it in their own words.
He didn't make it up.
No.
He took the speeches that they said, and he just copied them down in bite-sized forms and said, this is what Klaus said about this. This is what Bill Gates said about this, or whoever it is.
Yep. You'll have nothing and be happy about
scary
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Watchman says, go ahead.
No,
Jesus come to give us power over sin. Praise his holy name.
Amen.
I'll raise my hand to that.
Amen.
That's a wave offering to heaven. Thank
Amen.
you, Watchman. And man, we had a good discussion last night. I found out Watchman is a huge AC/DC fan, and
oh wow,
we had a lot. I enjoyed that. I want to tell you guys, and Anthony too.
Which singer do you like better, Bon Scott or I forget the new guy's name?
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson.
I think he's a Bon guy. I think we've kind of established that. I think we both. Well, I know I am. I'm pretty sure he is. But he's a big fan of the band.
The first AC/DC song that I saw was the one that they have the bagpipes You know, they were playing in the town square or whatever. You know,
that's way back.
That was and that's
like
made me
75 or something.
That made me start liking AC/DC. Yeah.
Anthony, let's see. Let me go back up. Watchman says, clothing. Answering to Anthony, I remember when every small town had a sewing mill making good clothes that fit.
Yep.
Amen.
Especially here in the South.
Chattanooga got hit hard. The hosiery mills. We had a lot of hosiery mills. Yep. What was that one?
We had Buster Brown.
That's the one I was thinking. We had Buster Brown in Chattanooga. It's in the next state, but we're right here. We're a border community.
Yeah.
So Buster Brown, absolutely. But all those hosiery mills, the socks, all that stuff, it's all gone for the most part.
Hush Puppies used to be the best shoes made.
Now we do still have in America, and I know a guy that I don't know if he still is. He may have retired now. There's a company in Alabama, and they do socks for the bicyclist. Because you got to have a special kind of sock for that kind of thing. High dollar.
Yeah, you don't want your pant leg or anything you can caught in the chain.
They have made a good. They have a niche. It's a niche market, and they stay in their lane. But there's no way they can compete with, Cambodia or Vietnam or.
There's a big hosiery mill in Summerville, Georgia. And, they make socks. I think they make Champion apparel. Champion Champion has come a long way. It used to be Kmart's brand, Champion brand. Now, it's a lot of the hipsters, are wearing that. What's Carhartt?
He said Bond, by the way.
Bond?
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Hey, go Dogs. Love it.
There you go.
And Georgia Will.
Did you say Bond?
Bond.
James
Scott.
James.
Bond Scott.
I think it's James Bond.
You could be James Bond.
Well, Braun. Lee Braun.
Yeah.
The name's Braun.
And he said, so do you think President Theodore Roosevelt, kind of hurt the economy in the long run with the trust-busting agendas that he had? Man, I don't know that I'm even qualified to answer that because the Roosevelts, I know more about FDR and what he did. Theodore, I like Theodore Roosevelt.
I played Theodore Roosevelt one. Well, it wasn't really him. He thought, have you ever seen the play Arsenic and Old Lace?
I'm not sure.
The old women have this inn, and they welcome in these traveling salesmen, and then they kill them with arsenic.
Yeah.
Well, I was their crazy kid. I thought I was Teddy Roosevelt, and I was building the Panama Canal in the basement, and that's where I'd put all the bodies. Was down. Anyway, I loved doing that. I'd never been in a play before, and I got to play. Crazy guy.
But
sorry, I forgot where we were going.
No, it's good, but we should have good. I will say all those presidents, some of the early, as it was across in the 1900s, there were a lot of policies that, in the long run, have not been good for America. Others would say that they have.
Well, Ulysses S. Grant sold the United States to the royal family. That's when the United States became a corporation.
Anthony also said, do you think mechanization sped up those 10-year business models in the automotive, clothing, construction industries because they had to produce so much to justify the prices they were selling stuff for?
Supply and demand.
That's an interesting thought. Down here in Florida, God bless Florida, Ron DeSantis. I think the industry that got hurt the most is when it came to mechanization is a farming industry because instead of having physical people picking the sugar cane. Fair enough.
I used to cut sugar cane when I went to school in Mississippi. We had a sorghum mill. And that was some of the most fun I ever had, working at that sorghum mill.
Wow.
But we'd go out.
Cool.
We grew our own sugar cane down there.
Watchman said, have you ever heard of the band Angus? I knew they had a band, and I don't know if I remember that name.
Can't say that I do.
There's a book by the author Cffiene, and I wanted to read his about the Young Brothers, and that dives in a little more to the early days of those things. But no, I don't remember that. I remember more Bond's early bands. I see he was in. Oh my gosh, here I go again, forgetting. But not Frontier. What was it called?
You go, boy.
I like to expand my brain, but sometimes I go up past my brain.
Well, I know my wife and I were talking about the Van Halen boys.
Oh yeah.
And they were immigrants, came to this country, and they
definitely made a difference.
Yeah, Eddie was a musical genius.
Yeah,
I mean, he was. He do things with a guitar that most people just can't do.
Yes, the Valentines, but there was another one too. The Valentines is one, but I'm thinking of the other one. I think it was the last one he was in before he went AC/DC. What was the name of that? I think it started with the F.
Did you know the Rolling Stones started out as a bluegrass band?
No, I didn't know that.
Some of their early music was bluegrass. Yep, sure enough.
The Valentines, though, yeah, I saw videos of them, early videos. Interesting.
I've never seen those.
Very interesting. Hey,
garage videos.
We thank everybody being here on a Saturday morning with us here at the Southern Fried Saturday AM with Cornbread Man and
Biscuit Boy.
And
I think
we're having a ball. Yes, that's it. Fraternity. Thank you. Man, he's like my brain cells I've lost that are helping me bring back in. They were a good band. It's a good band, Fraternity, but not as good as ACD.
I think I'm going to rename the truck the Skillet. To the Skillet Cornbread Man.
That's it. And we're here each Saturday, which 8 a.m. is not possible. I'm going to have to readjust that because we got to get our coffee. And today we had to wipe rain off of the table.
They don't open
so
8 a.m.
I'll say probably 8:30. Probably we should just put as the go time. But but yeah, but I appreciate all the band mentions and that.
Definitely great conversation.
Y'all are making my brain work this morning, which is a good thing. Anthony and Watchman are they're very deep conversationalists, and I love that.
I did. Did you do a couple?
Hey, there's my wife. Hello, Lynn.
Hello, Lynn.
Love you. I told her to give us a watch and say hey, and so I have to look at her. I've got YouTube pulled up, but she's
awesome.
She's on Facebook, so she's saying hello. Bond played flute in that band. That's right. I forgot about that. About Fraternity, or was it Valentine's? But and what's funny is that Bond picked his replacement. He had recommended Brian Johnson to the band, told him he thought he was a very talented guy and everything. All those guys were running the same circles,
Right.
Watchman says JFK. Oh, he's responding to Anthony. JFK. Are you? Let me back up. I missed a comment. If you guys had to choose any president that was dead to go back to and talk to, who would it be? Mine would be Thomas Jefferson. That's a great question. And Watchman says JFK.
Mine would be Andrew Jackson.
That would be an amazing conversation. He was a
Tennessee boy.
Yeah, war hawk and did a lot of battle with the Indians, and
he was in the first Seminole battle.
Yeah,
first Seminole War. He was in the war 1812.
Yeah.
He fought against the Creek Indians. Several of them, but
God, that's a hard question, honestly, because
he started the Democratic Party. Andrew Jackson started the Democratic Party. Yeah, sure did.
I mean, I could say, my goodness, a George Washington, but honestly, for me, Ronald Reagan. I would, and it's not even.
I loved his jokes.
That's it. It's not even about politics. If I sit down with Ronald Reagan, the only thing about politics that I would want to know from him is, what was it like to tell the Russian leader that if you don't make a deal, we'll defeat you. We've got Star Wars and we didn't have it.
That's it.
I would want to know, did you really believe we had Star Wars, or are you playing the biggest bluff ever?
Mr. Gorbachev, bring down that wall.
He backed them off. We didn't even have Star Wars, but I think that is
we do now.
A great question. But I would say those two, man, but I could think of so many, but on different levels. Let me say this, like if you were going to sit down and, Obama was big about the beer summits. What president would be fun to sit down and have that beer with if you drink? I don't drink, but if you did, or an iced tea summit or whatever.
I'd say Walker Bush.
And I think that Bush is a funny guy, not Daddy's son.
Walker,
he's a funny guy, and I think we would have a lot of laughs. Do I agree with him on politics? No, not really. And I don't like some things he did, although I approve some things he did. But he's a funny guy.
I want to tell you what, he had a pair. I'll put it that way. That's all I can say. I loved it when he flew in and that Avenger and landed on the deck of that aircraft carrier right after 9/11. That was something that really rallied people.
Watchman says I could have warned JFK and maybe saved us from this madness we live in now. You know, that's an awesome thought.
Yeah, you know, his driver's the one that shot him.
If you could say, don't go through Dallas with the top down, and by the way, fire those around you right now, and get your own private security service. Because he was failed by everybody around him.
So was Charlie Kirk.
That's a good point.
Yep.
That's a good point. If you're the security guy for Charlie Kirk,
I don't think we've heard the truth yet.
How do you not justify clearing that area? How do you not see a guy with a gun on the building?
I agree.
Why are you not scanning?
I agree.
I don't like to place judge people of stuff that I'm not involved with.
Do you know the majority
there's
of
problems with that.
The majority of his security was ex-Mossad.
I've heard that too. Let's see. Anthony said the general musicians now are very one-dimensional. It's fair that
they don't make
anybody playing
anymore.
instruments when they're recording music.
Billy Strings is about the only one.
People have people.
I like Billy Strings. He can play a guitar, boy.
People forget that some of these rock artists played multiple instruments, and even the people who played the other instruments were able to sing. You're not going to see that anymore. Fair enough, but I will say there are some young bands coming along that are pretty amazing. Get your card. We keep up with us. We appreciate it. We're on all the time.
Awesome.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm just curious what all your
Southern Fried Podcast.
We do a little bit of everything. We're also Wolf Nation is another brand of ours.
We're just starting.
We do everything from sports to politics. I mean, everything in between. We're ministry, you name it.
Very cool.
We
Wolf
talk
Nation. We're going to do
outdoor
more
stuff.
adventure stuff, cryptids and things like that.
Have
You
some
know,
fun.
ghost stories,
Hiking, Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
We're fixing to start Appalachian Trail. We want to get hikers that are going up the trail. We had someone that partnered with us and checked in with us all up the trail. We want to do this with multiple people and get them some information in their hand and have people checking in with us by video on the various locations that they go up the trail.
One of the things that we're going to do is probably go to Neal's Gap. You know, it's the only place on the AT that actually goes through a store.
That's true.
It's got a store on side and a hostel on the other, and the AT goes right through the middle of it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place.
I've never spent that much time in that area, so I don't.
But it starts here in Georgia and goes all the way to Maine, and it's and then there's two other long ones. And one of the guys that we had on, he's actually he did the trail, but then he's ex-military. A lot of them are because of PTSD.
I've got an interesting story about the trail when I was on.
But he's doing another one now out in oh my gosh, New Mexico or something.
Right.
So he does YouTube videos, and I watch him a lot. I'm gonna try to get the trail name is Silverback. Guess it's been around for here, but this part, but the podcast has been around for a year and a half.
Yeah.
A little over a year and a half. May will be 2 years, and so we do a lot in studio. One of our partners is in South Georgia, and we're North Georgia, so we kind of handle both ends of the state. We do some different shows. This is just one that we do here live here in Ringgold, and we're doing videos around the town, landmarks and stuff. We're gonna do one about the flags today, and so just small town. This program really focuses on small town America and the hardworking business owners that are trying to make a difference every day and living the American dream. So all these people with shops, people that are working out of their home or whatever it is, we want to highlight that. Paul is with the financial business, and that's what they do. They partner with people to help them maximize.
We like to educate people on finances.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough of that in this country.
So he's with the Ascending Group, and I'm working on getting my license. But I love that, and we're absolutely followers of Jesus Christ, and we want to share the gospel of
First and foremost.
So we'll talk about anything, but we will that'll always be our ground zero.
Glory to God.
Yeah. Absolutely, everything we do. We have fun and we laugh and we go on. But
you should.
At the end of the day,
we talk about all kinds of different things. Some things don't even make any sense.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we want to help people find their way.
Yeah.
And if we can influence.
I'm Paul LeBron, by the way.
Corey Cochran.
Corey, good to meet you, my
David
friend.
Cordell. Good to see you, brother.
What was your first name?
David.
David Cordell.
Yeah.
Paul
LeBron.
Gotcha.
Last name's Putnam.
My youngest son, you said that about the flags, and it triggered my thoughts. My youngest son, and actually all three of my boys, my wife, we homeschooled them
Okay.
all their life.
Good for you.
And she always brought them up here to set the flags up. From the time they were little, they'd always come and participate in the flags, getting them set up.
It takes a lot of help.
And all that stuff, you know. And my youngest son is still involved in it and still does it every year,
Awesome.
you know, or every time they do it.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 19.
I would love to have somebody come on and talk about that if he's willing to come on the podcast.
We're
I
here
would
every
love
Saturday
that.
morning.
What that means to them to set those flags up and take them down, because it is a labor of love,
Right.
and we appreciate
I was
that.
looking to see, I think he's already left.
But I think that's great, folks. And I mentioned at the beginning of the program, Ringgold sets up the flags for Veterans Day and things.
Yep.
It is a sight to see
It is.
in this town.
It
Small
is beautiful,
town
man.
USA.
It is beautiful.
That courthouse decked out like that is the most beautiful thing. I think every community in America ought to do something similar to honor those vets. But I think the Boy Scouts involved too, somewhat, putting those out.
Yeah, more and more people have gotten involved through the years as they put the word out. You know? And I'm not positive on whether the Boy Scouts are all, involved all the time or not, but it would make a lot of sense for me.
Yeah.
If you know somebody you could hook us up with, and we could put the word about who to contact to get if they need help, because they always need help.
Yeah.
And people are local or would like to drive in and help when they do that. We just take our card and give us a holler, email us or whatever, and or call me and text me, whatever. I'd like to talk to somebody that helps with that organizes it and everything.
Yeah.
I'd like to come help myself one day. I would.
Yeah.
You guys live in the area?
I'm Fort basically. I live right outside of
I
Fort.
live on the ridge in between Ottawa and Collegedale.
Okay.
So we sit up here every Saturday morning. We have been for several weeks now.
Yeah, I've
and
seen you out here the times that we've been here.
Yeah, we're doing the program, and then we go off and
Do some videos
I work in the
different.
afternoon, but we do videos. Last week we did the gun store and the jail.
Okay.
So, just showing people things around. We're going to do some different cities too.
Very
But again, it goes back to small town America. This is the backbone of our country.
It is.
It's small town America. And
Yeah, we
nothing
wanna
against
tell-
cities, but this is family, community,
Exactly.
with neighbors. We love each other and we try to support each other.
Yeah. I grew up down in Dalton, but I moved to Ringgold when my wife and I got married. She's from Ringgold. And the small town aspect of Ringgold was always a draw to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the small town, the parades and the different things,
They
that
have
they
'em.
do, and 1890s days and all that stuff,
They do a great job with that 1890 days is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And now we're wanting to set up at the, I think it's right over behind us, the, what do they call that? The stables or whatever it is when they set up the market.
Yeah.
That's
Rabbit Valley Market.
Rabbit Valley. That's
Rabbit
it.
Valley. We're hoping to set up there. We don't technically sell anything, but we want to promote everybody that's there.
Yeah.
So we'll pay for a spot. I just want to make sure we can get in.
Yeah.
But I've got to talk to the leaders. I have followed them, but I haven't contacted them yet. But for the next season when they do that, we're hoping to set up there and do some stuff too.
that'd be
So
awesome. Yeah.
that would be just help promote small business.
I know the lady that started it. I don't know her very well, but I know who she is. And then there's another lady that helps her. She goes and tries to get sponsors and different things,
Sure.
for it. So,
Absolutely. And that may be an
Tell
opportunity
her to
for us as
contact
well.
us.
yeah.
Because we're going to highlight. By the way, folks, Monday night, Danielle Lohner from right here in Ringo, the dirt track race car driver, she's going to be on our podcast at around 5:30.
Hey, I'll do it today.
And we're hoping to be on the car with our decal for the 2026 season. And her story's amazing. She's from right here in Ringo, and I work with her dad. So
That's
he works
awesome.
for Shaw.
Yeah. And it's neat that you say that. All three of my boys race.
Really?
Yeah.
Dirt track?
No, yeah.
They
Now.
currently race?
Yeah.
Tell them to tune in. I'd love to have them on. We'll talk. We have a racing show.
My oldest one is the main one that's racing now, just because he's the one that has an engine that can run.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but they've raced since they were 8, 9, and 5 years old.
That's me. I've raced anything with wheels and a lot of things with legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a show called the Southern Fried Racing Hour, and we talk NASCAR, and we want to get into the dirt track racing and all that, or any kind of racing really, and especially the local people, and let them know, they get their story out of what they do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, and appreciate that. Appreciate the conversation. Stop and talk. We just like to connect with people.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's good to meet you guys.
So you do home security?
We do home, commercial.
Here's some advertising.
We do a little bit of everything, you know. And
I see the signs everywhere.
We're been in business since 1979. Family-owned and operated business here out of Ringgold.
Okay.
Dependable security systems.
Step right here, and so the people can see you. You'll be on camera.
Facing that way.
There you are. Back up. Just there you are. You're on camera, and there's his business card, folks. And thanks for stopping by.
Corey Cochran.
And all you folks. This is a great. Y'all the Bible class, right?
Yes,
the Bible
sir.
study.
Yes, sir.
Y'all still in Proverbs?
Yes, sir.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it. What chapter were y'all in today?
Today.
I was reading
Proverbs
29 last night. The one that I was reading.
Yeah.
29.
Yeah. You know, I used to be in the Gideons years ago and get together on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, I used to get little Bibles from you.
Yeah, that's true. You did.
Yeah.
And studying the Word, us men, you know, men.
Iron
It's so
sharpens
important
iron.
for us to do that. Yeah, please take that. Take any cards. That's what they're there for. We thank y'all so much. We'll highlight your church too if you want to share anything about your church.
Grace
locally.
Church.
Yeah. Grace Church. So if you didn't hear that, Grace
Catoosa
Church
County.
in Catoosa County. And who's your pastor?
This is one of them right here.
This is one of them. Well, come around
Come
here.
out here and say hello.
We're gonna put it. I know he's thinking I'm not dressed up. It don't matter, right? Come as you are.
What's your name, brother? What's your name?
I'm Lonnie Bone.
Lonnie Bone.
And how long you been at Grace?
20,
Audrey's how old?
27 years.
So you're still a
27
youngin'
years.
there.
Oh yeah, I'm a young man.
Awesome. And you know, there's nothing like serving the Lord. And there's
Amen.
God bless the pastors and those that preach the Word of God. How beautiful are the feet, and I can see His feet. Beautiful feet of them that preach the Word.
That's it.
I'm the only one properly dressed for Bible study this morning. Everyone else was warm in there. I felt great.
Yeah.
And you got on your Jerusalem cruiser.
Oh yes, that's right. With the Nike swish.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it. Hey, you know, if you go to overseas and you preach in that hot environment, the preachers would say in the videos when they come back to do their reports, they say, "Yes, I'm wearing a hat preaching because it is so hot.
Oh yeah.
I have to wear a hat." So some people say, "Why are you wearing a hat?"
On your
You know?
head.
But it's Israel. You know, I'm preaching at the Dead Sea or something. You know, got to have my hat on. But hey, God bless y'all for what
Yes,
you do.
thank you very
God
much.
bless your families and for making a difference here in Catoosa County.
Definitely.
We love the community.
Amen. That's what it's all about. Love of people, love of God, and helping people find their way. Folks, if you don't know Jesus
Amen.
Christ as your Lord and Savior,
Yes.
you can know Him today. Make today the day of salvation.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
it.
Absolutely.
I love
and,
that.
and it's just one prayer away, right?
That's right.
It's not hard. It's not complicated. People try to make it difficult, right?
That's right.
It's like it ain't passing the test. It's just knowing that.
Humble yourself in the sight of
Yeah,
the Lord. He will lift
we're
you
dirty,
up.
rotten sinners. We know it. We just got to get help
Every
for
one
it.
of us.
We're sin sick, but we got help. We got help.
That's right.
And then you can have this smile like they have on,
Amen.
that righteous smile. All these men, they got
Amen.
smiles on their
Right.
faces. Hey, y'all have a great Saturday.
God
Take
bless
care.
you guys.
Give us a holler, man.
That's why we do this.
That is why we do this. And, you know, thank you, folks, for being patient, listening. And we've been on here for, my goodness, almost a half.
Have we really?
We're going to have to go make this video. Let's catch up
Wow.
on some of the comments, and
All right.
thank y'all for listening.
By the way, I want to throw in just another little tag here for the Ascending group. If you have any financial needs, more than likely we can help you out. We are the Amazon of the financial industry, and we help people, especially with retirement, Dave. That is our big thing is retirement and life insurance. Every head of household, if you have a family, you need to have a good life insurance policy to protect your family.
Watchman says he'd honestly, or Anthony says, honestly, I would like to have a beer with Gerald Ford. Beer film, The Gun Was in the Roses. Interesting. I never heard that. There were 12 phones at Kirk's shooting that originated from Israel. From geofencing report. Those are interesting reports.
Yeah.
To me, none of these presidential assassinations would have happened if the Pinkerton agency dealt with all the security for the president instead of having the Secret Service. Thank you, Anthony, for that. And he also
They
says,
were the original Secret Service.
and they didn't play. I mean,
No, they did not.
Anthony says, when I was in the JROTC, when we would do the parades, my job as an executive officer was to put flags up during the beginning of the day's school for school or the beginning of the parade. And God bless you for that.
Yep.
Hey, we love you guys. We are going to have to scoot. We'll see you next week. And got quite a crowd in here. Thank you for that on Saturday morning.
Yep.
Grab your coffee next week. You never know who's going to stop by. And,
True.
you know, we have people that are coming in all the time, and they're starting to know we're here. So they'll say we've seen you. So y'all have a blessed day. We'll be back. I'll be back on in the morning and probably tomorrow night. But find your way to church if you can. And again, if you don't know Christ as your Savior, it's a prayer away.
And always keep ascending.
Keep ascending. We'll get drop down, play some music on the way out of here, and then we're gonna go film. We're going to go up the street here and do a video about these the flags. They're beautiful, and I really do want to help out. I've had that for a couple of years now, and I think that I've just found the one that can help me do that. So
I believe he can probably help.
I think he could probably help. He's got people involved, and I'm looking forward to to working within that. So.
Dependable security system.
I see there's signs everywhere, man. There's some other ones, but
there's the phone number if you can read backwards.
Yeah, what a great name, Dependable, too. I like that.
Yep.
All right, let me find a song that I haven't played here, or maybe I'll play the same one. We'll just go with Maggie Report.
Just go.
All right, we'll get it going.
Have a blessed weekend, guys.
There we go. All right, take care.